Welcome to episode 10 of Open Process. Hello, Tim, once again. What'd you do this time around?
Like always, good question. After coming back from Canada to New Zealand, I stayed here for like 2 weeks, and then I went to Oxford, like
Oh,
UK Oxford. So that wasn't just a random trip. As part of, like, in collaboration with Crimson Education, there's this program called OSS, Oxbridge, Oxford plus Cambridge Summer Scholars. The idea is at one of the colleges that makes up Oxford. Fun fact, Oxford as a university is actually made up of 38 individual colleges that are better or worse at specific things, but they all do kind of the same education, and they all collaborate, and they are all one university technically, and they're all spread out across the small city of Oxford. Cambridge does kind of the same thing, but a little bit differently, but mostly the same.
yeah.
We went to one of the much younger, only established in 1961, so one of the youngest colleges of Oxford, and we stayed there for 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, we went through a Oxford-style program where we had lectures that we attended with professionals in various areas, and we were in different. I was in stream A. That was the stream for basically it was just the STEM stream. So it was science, technology, engineering, and maths.
Yeah.
Heavy on the maths. So that was what we did. And we had lectures, and along with lectures, we had this special thing that Oxford does, which is called tutorials. Cambridge kind of does it too, where it's more like a one-on-one thing with a professional in the field, but it's like 1 to 6 people with one professional. Now, before I
Yeah.
get too deep into that, what did you do?
I will be just talking about the end of the school year, including finals week with tests, robotics, and just like anything really that I have planned for next year or next summer, or just like finalizing the year.
Okay.
So just, yeah, some interesting stuff here and there, some boring stuff, some hard stuff. So that would be quite
Okay.
interesting conversation. I mean, you can continue with your Oxford stuff. That seems
Okay. Yeah.
quite, yeah.
That's
You said
cool.
tutorials or something at the end?
Tutorials, yes. So tutorials are more concentrated learning experiences where rather than a more open lecture where there's 10 to 20 people, a tutorial is 1 to 6 people more individually talking with a professional in the field. That was very interesting.
What like field did you pick, or like what did or
We had 2 tutorials every day, but
Mhm.
but those were optional. You could opt out or opt into tutorials at the start of the program. I was a junior. This program was split into juniors and seniors. Seniors, 16 to 17, juniors, 15. And the difference in program is that we all do a project, and that project is writing, it's basically just an essay. We write 1,500 words, they write 3,000 words.
Oh,
We
okay.
have, and we, juniors, get almost every day during the program, except the weekends where everyone gets a trip, we get small little trips to museums or interesting locations around the city. That was cool. We did that.
Yeah.
And on the base of those trips, we could also factor that into and write about that in our project. That was a
In
topic.
your essays, yeah.
Yeah. So we did that. And as part of that, that meant that by default, we missed one of every 2 tutorials every day. So
Hmm.
we got to choose out of the tutorials that were open so we had an optional, let's think here, 6 plus, like, yeah, so we had like 11 tutorials we could have opted in or out of. And I opted into one on the math and physics behind black holes. I think that's fair.
Oh,
That was cool.
yeah.
That was
I
really
mean, yeah, space guy, space stuff. Yeah.
yeah, definitely the space one is the one I opted into.
Yeah.
And there was also a bit on electrical engineering as a tutorial, and then finally a tutorial more about the mechanical side and a little bit of fluid dynamics. Those were all interesting. Basically, the people who gave us the lectures also were the ones doing the tutorial, so they often use them as an extension and extra cool stuff as an extension on the lecture. That was really, in most cases, I just gave more in-depth info, which was complicated, but definitely very interesting every single time. And as the whole program went, we had two. In the first week, it was slightly more relaxed because the first few days, like the first 2 days, was more of a setup of the program, with the first being arrival day. and then
Hmm.
icebreakers, introducing us to everyone because it's like 40 people that we'll be staying in the same college with for 2 weeks and hanging out with a
Yeah.
lot. So we did that, and then there
So
was
you had like dorms, right?
where we had dorms. Yes,
Like dorms, yeah, like you had
yeah,
rooms. So,
and they were surprisingly large for college dorms. Like again, they're not. It's not a big room, but you get like a room like sort of the size of this one, but a little bit bigger. So it's like two compartments where you have a sink, a bed, and a desk,
yeah,
and an extension. Which like my room had this, where you have like two stairs, and then a little wooden place with windows and another desk and a nice little lamp and everything. So that was just
yeah,
it was. They were really. All I'm saying here, really nice dorms. Just sum that up. Yes, we had dorms. Those were the dorms. Then, in essentially almost everything we did, except for the big trips, was in our groups of what we chose as Group A, B, C, or D. Like I said, A for me, the STEM group. Basically, the people I interacted with the most, but we did through the junior trips. I also made friends with and interacted a bunch with the juniors,
right.
with my fellow juniors who are outside of my group. So that
Yeah.
was cool.
Were they also everyone around the world, or
Oh,
was it mostly?
completely, completely.
Oh, okay.
It's also an international program, though this one is one you buy into, not you win into. It's just an optional thing you can do. And yes, from across the world. Again, it's called the summer program, but it's in England winter because
Yeah.
it's targeting the southern hemisphere. There is a summer program that they run during actual Europe summer and America
Hmm.
summer, northern hemisphere summer. And
Yeah,
during that program, they will have way more people coming from Europe.
which makes sense. Yeah.
But in general, yes, it does make sense. And in the program that we had, since it was in our summer holidays, which is Christmas, which is totally not confusing to anyone in the Northern Hemisphere whatsoever, we had people mostly from the Southern Hemisphere. Like there was me and
Hmm.
three other New Zealanders. There were a bunch, like two people from Australia, four or five people from South Africa. There was a bunch of people from Singapore. Technically, that's just about the Northern Hemisphere, but I just count that as equatorial warm zone. So
Yeah.
it's warm all year round there, if not hot, even during winter.
Yeah.
It's just any country around the equator.
Yeah. One question. You
Yes,
said you were in Group A, which was the STEM group.
yes.
Was there? You said there was other groups. What were the other groups like topics?
Yeah, good question. So B is the group about medicine. They were a really big one.
Oh,
A lot of people in group B. Then C is, let's think here, law. And what is it? I think D is law and C is, I don't know, I'm kidding. I'm gonna try to remember here genuinely. So we had
yeah,
law, medicine, science, and what did they do? Oh, did we only have three groups? No, we had four. It'll come to me later. I can't
yeah.
remember right now, but there was a fourth one. I
So
swear.
like, I'm guessing since medicine was the biggest one, I'm guessing Oxford is or Cambridge are more medicine doctor like based.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Science,
Okay. Well, that
science,
makes sense. A lot of people went there for the medicine side, but
yeah. Science is definitely there as well. Not so much engineering. Like they're not bad at engineering, but really better at engineering in terms of great universities is like MIT. Guess what?
yeah.
Institute of Technology, wherever it
Yeah.
is
Wow. It's in the
taking
name.
yeah,
I wonder what I'm good
yeah,
at.
yeah. Same thing with Cal Tech. So there's universities that are better at tech, but they still do it there as well. And
Yeah.
the cool program,
Well, I mean, it's kind of like already like a general thing since future is
yeah.
tech. It's probably gonna be in law,
Sure.
tech, like everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, outside of the academic part of the program, there were things that we all did as a big cohort, like all 40 of us. What's the 40? It was like closer to between 40 and 20, I think like closer to 30.
Hmm.
As a whole cohort, we also did Challenge Day, which was
Oh.
fun, which was they put us in groups of 5 to 6, and in those groups, we invented a product, and we would go out to the main supervisors in their own little conference room and we would pitch like Shark Tank.
Oh,
They nicknamed
that's cool.
they
Was
nicknamed
that was there multiple of these? So you had to create a different product each time,
no,
or
no,
only
it was
one?
one product, and well, they called it Dragon's Den because that's the British equivalent of Shark Tank, but it's Shark Tank. Just for you, that's the more familiar name.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is what we did. We did it once, and at the very end of the program, the winners were announced, and they got caps was the logo. Oh,
Yeah, like
cool.
all
It was
right, bro. Like I
yeah.
could just go buy the cap for like $10.
I mean, no, it is a unique cap because it's the program itself. You could buy
Oh,
a cap for
okay.
$10, but not the specific one. But
Yeah, yeah.
as a whole, the program was very cool, and that was just a fun extra side part to it. We also went
Hmm.
to Cambridge, hence it's Oxbridge, not just Oxford
Yeah.
Summer Scholars. In Cambridge, we mostly did a photo hunt, and then I ice skated for the first time.
Ice skating. I love
Yeah.
ice skating.
Yeah. First time for me, that was cool. I probably could have done it earlier in life if I had done it in Ukraine, but I didn't. So this was the first time.
Oh,
First time for me, that was really nice. But now that also explained why in the form for doing it, you needed to list your blood type. If you get hurt,
why does blood type matter for? Oh, if you
if you
get
get
hurt.
hurt and you need a transplant, they need to know what kind of blood type you have.
Transplant, bro. That's crazy. Man, so bad in the summer program that you need a transplant.
Which was funny to me in the beginning. Like, who would need a
I mean,
transplant?
it is a medicine-based school, so I mean, mine as well.
Yeah, but I was going like, who would need that? And then when we went through the program, some guy was going down the stairs badly, twisted his ankle, went into town, because we can go into town when we have breaks, because he felt like that was a cool idea. He went out and then he collapsed on the street, couldn't stand up. One of the supervisors had to go out with a wheelchair and wheel him back. What?
What?
Um,
Wait, so you can
and
just like leave on your own with like
yeah, that's another cool
just go
thing.
out
They treated us like adults, basically. Like we
like
were
college
students.
students, like you could like
Exactly.
go to a dorm, yeah.
So, since outside of our dorms, we had three regular intervals when we would get food. We would have lunch, dinner, and breakfast, but that was a limited time. If you missed breakfast, congrats, you missed breakfast.
Yeah.
It's served
I
in.
mean, unless you had a time in between the two eating things to go outside, you could get food yourself or no.
You do. You have a break, and you are allowed to go out. You must have at least one other person with you, so that's just a safety thing. And
Yeah,
trust
so if something happens, you could call and
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. The guy who was on the floor with his broken ankle could not call someone, and that was great that he had his friend with him. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he may have not been wheeled back. And so, great. Seemed unnecessary after that event. I did not question it. That's
Like, okay, blood type, I get this.
blood type. Have someone with you. Okay, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to.
Yeah, yeah. After
And
the biggest
also,
like
also
event.
with that, there was apparently just some 60-year-olds walking around town screaming slurs at people.
Oh.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, the
I
UK
don't
is
know.
crazy.
I mean, I don't know. At least nobody got shanked. Anyway, right.
It's crazy. Okay, I
Cool.
think
There was a
I
lot.
think that
So,
does seem like a lot, yeah.
yeah. To take a pause on that, I'll hand over to you. We can pick up on that, but there was a lot happening. But you've had a
Yeah.
lot happening. What have you been doing?
Yeah. Well, main thing, end of the year, right? Final exams, of
Right.
course. I have this year, I have three AP classes, but one's like only one semester. The first semester was economics, which was like a longer version of your Shark Tank. Like we made a product
Mm.
and then we were all in the same room, so teachers could walk around and ask us questions about our product. So we like present it. And then like we get like tokens to win. We didn't win, but like it doesn't matter. We still got quite a bit of tokens and I mean, we were proud of our product. So finals week, right? There's two AP classes. Exams are not happening now. They're happening end of the year. But most of my classes were projects. So that was quite like, I really like when a final test or final thing is a project because then you could like work in a group. I think they were all in a group and you could like do it together and get a pretty good grade on that. And I only had math, physics, and computer science as my three tests. Computer science also had a project, but it was like they also had a test, which is a dedicated week of, it's called finals week of every day is three periods. Like my school has eight periods. One of them is lunch. So educational periods is seven. So it would be one, two, three on the first day, four, five, six on the second day. Oh, wait, no, it was like four or five on the second day, six, seven, eight on the third day. My hardest tests were math and physics, right? I don't know if you remember me talking about physics, which I don't know if I did, but
Mm.
the teacher is not great.
Yeah, it happens.
She has a PhD in chemistry though, but she
Mhm.
teaches both chemistry honors, chemistry AP, and physics AP, right? Which is interesting because she doesn't have a PhD in physics, but I mean, simply summarized, teacher, no,
That
teacher,
happens.
just teacher, go off rubric. Literally, like she has the PowerPoint of probably made by AI or something, or like a template that she found online, and it just explains every unit. And she goes through it, and then there's sometimes questions. She explains the questions based on the rubric. Like she has a paper and goes, okay, so the answer, you have to do this, this, and this. So
Yeah.
throughout the whole year, everyone got a tutor. Everyone in the class
Yeah.
has at least one tutor, either the same tutor as someone else or just like a tutor, private tutor somewhere else. Most of the kids went to another teacher at our school, which was a physics teacher for physics 2 and C. And he taught us the physics, so people started getting better towards the end of the year. And we also have a 50% curve, which helps us with the grade. That's so physics was quite hard. The thing is, the final test for physics was easy because she took questions from our previous tests. Literally every single question was a previous question that we've had. So you just kind of had to remember it and get it right. And I got like a 95 on that. For math was harder for me because what I was thinking was I'm better at math, I would say, than sciences. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus my direction more on physics because I'm expecting it to be hard since the summatives and the checkpoints were hard. So I was a bit slacking off on math, which was the wrong choice because I did pretty bad on math. I don't want to say my grade. And then when I took physics, I was surprised of how easy it was, and I spent like so many hours studying for it, especially with friends, and we were all stressed about it. But then like math just like absolutely like cooked me. So that was like my only bad grade. Every other grade, project or essay for English, I got an A or B. And I mean, my final GPA was like a 4.11, which is weighted, I think. So that's a above average GPA. So that's good. Another thing for like at the end of the year for robotics, I mean, for the year is robotics. Qualifying for states, there's like two ways to qualify for states. Win a competition or um get the excellence award, which means you did great in every aspect of a competition. We didn't get either, but we still qualified because we did really good in skills. We got second in skills, mostly tournaments, and we got second place in almost every tournament that we've been in. So we qualified for states, and we next year we will have another signature event, which can qualify us for worlds. And if we win states or get a award at states, we could go to worlds. So I mean that'd be my second year at our world when we qualify, not if we qualify. Because we're gonna qualify. Come on, like that's just the mindset. Yeah. Also, at the end of the year, talked with my private counselor for college stuff. So I'm planning to apply to some summer programs like your Oxford summer program, and I'll be doing that next year summer. So quite excited for that.
Nice. That's great.
And one of them is would be MIT. So I mean, kind of my field. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wish, but difficult to do from New Zealand. That's great. Like all of that. Nice. The grades. When you say end of year, I think it is you mean end of year, not end of school year, right?
Yeah, like end
Right.
of first semester, like midterm grades, not final grades, obviously.
Right.
So this second semester, the end would be both finals for every class and then the AP exams and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. So, in terms of competitions, are there any competitions you haven't talked about in other videos? Like, what? How's robotics been?
I mean, robotics has been, I mean, we've been updating a robot after a competition, like making it better. Looked at other robots. So that's like robotics works. You start with a robot at the beginning. You look at different bots, especially China bots, because they're the best always, almost at every year. We look at take parts from there to put into our bot to make our robot better and well, go to different competitions. So we had like the signature event that we had this year, the Smoky Mountain it was called. I think I talked about it in a previous video where we sadly didn't get high in the rankings, but it was a new signature, so that's why it was not like very well organized, but it was an experience still. And then second signature would be next year, and states would be soon enough in the coming months. So, because usually World is in May or March, like up in those months, April. I think it's April this year. So I don't think I missed any competitions in the previous episodes, but like I said, we've gone second place in almost every competition we've done in except the signature. And the like in finals, the finals of every competition is four teams, like two alliances of two teams. So And the surprising thing is, three of those four teams have been the same for every competition that we got in second place in. It was us, another team, and like a third team that's like the best in South Florida, I think, right now. So, I mean, yeah, which is crazy because three teams every time, and we haven't gotten first place once. But I mean, it's all right. Yeah,
Okay,
I think that's for competition. Yeah.
great. Got any questions left for me?
No, I mean, summer programs, cool. I'm trying to do one too. I did one last year. I don't know if you remember, like a robotics one where we built
Yeah.
a robot that like
That's
avoids obstacles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Those are definitely nice. Just like as a general wrap up for my topic, like it was a great experience, mostly because I'd never been to England before or
yeah.
Oxford, and then after that I did spend some time in London, saw a bunch of sites, but also just the culture, and not the culture of Britain, but the culture of Oxford as in university culture, really interesting to experience, especially they treated us like university students, which was unique.
Yeah.
And then also the fact that all museums and libraries are free in Oxford because it's a university town. So they take donations, but also a bunch of them are part of the university. And just in general, the entire vibe of the university town is just something I really liked. So that in of itself was amazing. Just general whole experience, great. Loved it. Definitely going to be taking a lot out of it, and is just a really nice thing to have under my belt. I spent in Oxford and learned there. That was cool. Yeah, and just
from what you said, this really, I wish I was there at this point, like especially with the STEM group, like that seems very fun.
Yeah, I mean it runs every year, so you could apply for it. I mean, apply for it and pay for it. So up to you. It is a question of whether you want to pay for it. And if you want to focus more on a U.S. university, it may not be the greatest path. It's up to you. Just, I think it was cool. That's most of what
you got the experience. The experience is what matters. Like you have the
yes, definitely.
And if you would, if like Oxford's on the list of colleges you would apply to, that you put your name out there already, so it's like good in either way. Yeah.
Okay, great. I guess that's pretty much.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Right, see ya.
See you next episode.